Hi, Vision Builder family. Let's get right into it. Today, I'm going to be chatting with you about why your sales strategies have not been working. Now, one of the things that I've been doing is that I tend to observe our community to see what you've been doing, what you've been working on, how you've been approaching things so that I can better serve you, not only with Monday Night Lives, but also when you come to your strategy sessions with me. And if you haven't booked that as yet, there are a few more strategy sessions that are available towards in this last quarter. I would suggest that you take advantage of the opportunities presented by the strategy sessions. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about exactly why you're not getting the sales that you're looking for. Now, if you have been on the social media scene for a long time, most of the people who are talking to you about sales, about using your social media to sell, or whatever platform you are utilizing to sell, you would hear that a lot of them speak to finding your ideal client profile, refining your ideal client profile, ensuring that you're speaking to the right person. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that, right? I've heard that too, and I'm not against it in any way. However, after you've done the work to refine your ideal client, after you've done the work to determine who are the persons who need exactly what you are offering, what happens next? I see all of you posting. I see all of you doing what you need to do, but something is not translating. What is the thing that is not translating? Here's what I'm going to share with you. You have to understand in selling that there is a big difference in selling to a cold audience and selling to a warm audience. Having your ideal client profile refined and defined does not mean that you are actually selling to a warm audience. You've identified who your audience is. You have an idea of who you would like to speak to, but it does not make your audience a warm audience. And what do I mean by a warm audience? A warm audience is an audience that knows you, that you have a relationship with. It's an audience that now has bridged the gap between know, like, and trust. And you have now really become integrated in the ecosystem of their life in some way or the other. So think about it as a relationship. There are people that you have relationships with, and those people can approach you at any point in time. Those people are in your circle. Those people, you don't think too heavily about what they're saying, or you trust them enough to really invest in them or support them. That is what a warm audience looks like. Whereas if you are walking down the street and some random person comes up to speak to you or tries to come into your space or tries to get you to part with your hard-earned dollar, you're gonna think about it. You're gonna look at them sideways. You might buy, but you're not committed to that relationship. That is really, really important for us to understand in making sales. Because for far too long, we think I set my ideal client and I'm just going to start speaking the language that they want to hear, and they're going to buy from me. It doesn't work like that. So let's get down into the real things that you need to establish a warm audience, or to genuinely create a warm audience so that selling becomes easy. I hear you though. You're saying, Dana, why is this important now? It's important in October because come December, a lot of you are looking to make those Christmas sales. And the way to make those Christmas sales more easily is to curate a warm audience from now. So let's talk about making a warm audience, what that entails, and how it can be done. The first thing is to create a relationship and a rapport with your audience. Even if you are utilizing the virtual space, you want to ensure that people connect with you on some level. You want to ensure that people like you on some level. You want to ensure that people understand what you're about. And that means you have to go beyond, well, this is coming, this is happening, I'm doing this. It has to go beyond that. This is how you build relationships with folks. Y'all draw closer. This is how you build relationships with persons, by paying attention to their needs. I've seen it so many times on many of the platforms that I look at, particularly within our region. We spend so much time talking about ourselves, bragging about ourselves, making it all about ourselves, that nowhere in that communication is there communication. Communication is a two-way process. It's a vital thing, even in marketing. So it means that in your communication, you also need to take time to get to know the people that are engaged with you. This ideal client profile that you have now defined and refined, you now need to get to know those persons, like to confirm if the things that you are thinking about concerning them actually exist, right? You want to know if Jane really has that problem. You want to know if Paul really is looking to do X, Y, and Z. You want to know how the things, what is going on in their lives? How are they navigating everything that has been happening for the past few years? How are you providing things to assist them? That's the second point. So the first point is get to know your clients, build a relationship, ask a question about them, find out what they are really looking for, understand the conversations that are important to them. The second thing is to serve your client base beyond just saying, buy my product. Service is a big part of growing a warm audience. Here's a principle that I want you to hold on to very dearly. People will forget what you've done for them, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And that really is the essence of service. You have to help persons to feel a particular way. So after I've listened to you, I now do something that serves you. I now connect with you. I now either, how do I serve you? I perhaps serve by relating, saying, you know what, Chris, I totally understand what you are saying because I also went through that and here's how I got through it. So what that does for Chris is it helps him to feel seen, but you're also providing a suggestion for them, right? Or you say to Sharice, here's what. I have tried X, Y, and Z and it didn't work. But then I found this and it worked. That's a way to serve Sharice, right? So I want you to think now, how can I serve? Beyond just saying, come buy my product. Beyond just saying, this is what you need to solve all your problems. Actually serve. And yes, I hear some of you saying, how can I do that in a retail business? I sell, trinkets or gadgets. Yeah, you can do that by perhaps doing reviews of other things that you may have tried or other products that are out there and why this product is better than the next one. Or sharing exactly what is the problem that a particular thing solves. So for instance, I don't have it here with me. If you have a phone stand, why is this phone stand better than others? Why do you need a phone stand? So serving persons can actually talk about, I understand the problem of trying to record a video and the phone is falling down because you're propping it up on a box. And what I learned is that there are different types of stands, and these are the different types of stands that help you for different scenarios. Right in that process, because phone stands are something that you perhaps sell all of the time, you are now providing an additional level of service. Why is that important? Because again, I hear you. Why is that important in selling maybe little gadgets or trinkets? Because even if you change the gadgets or the trinkets that you sell occasionally, I'm pretty sure there is an underlying current of what you are going to bring back time and time again because it's a very popular thing that persons buy. So you have to learn how to serve your audience. Otherwise, I'm just going to buy from you and I'm never going to think about you again. Okay, so we have our 2 points. The first point is to get to know your audience. The second point is to serve your audience. The third point is to take your audience into a space where they communicate with you in a more private area. Social media, from my experience, can be used to create this, but you have to be very intentional about it, okay? We cannot just be shooting darts into the dark on your social media page, because then the person who's been committed to you and committed to your platform and committed to your story and committed to following and engaging with you, that person begins to feel invisible and eventually you lose them. You're not able to convert sales with them any longer, right? So what you need to do now is to to understand or to recognize the people who are connected with you and bring them into a more intimate spaces where you can continue to nurture and foster that relationship. That is why email lists are important. That is why text marketing lists are important. That is why having maybe groups in the back end of your social media platforms, be it Instagram, Facebook, is important. That is why that direct messaging is important, because there now you can actually begin to create a really meaningful relationship that helps business to not even think twice when it's time to support your product, your offer, or whatever you have coming up. You have to have a warm audience, right? A warm audience is what makes your sales really, really take off when you launch something new. That is what really makes your sales take off when you are trying to be consistent every single month. The warm audience is the audience that buys. The warm audience is the audience that shares. The warm audience is the audience that becomes your ambassadors. So apart from just posting what you have coming up, it's really, really important for you to start curating a warm audience so that selling becomes easier on all of your platforms. Let me know if this was helpful to you. Feel free to send me a DM if you have any questions. And also please share to others so that they can also benefit from the information that you have just received. Chat with you soon.